under starter's orders, and they're away. Shergar, Master Willie and Light Cavalry the first to show, and Light Cavalry going on now from Master Willie and Shergar. Then comes Madame Gay, Pellerin on the inside, Fingal's Cave, and finally Crackerval. Light Cavalry making it from Master Willie and Shergar, disputing second. Just behind them come Madame Gay, then Pellerin. Behind Pellerin is Fingal's Cave, and finally Light Cavalry as they race downhill still towards Swinley Bottom. Light Cavalry not taking him along at a very fast gallop at the moment. From Master Willie on the outside of Shergar, then Pellerin and Madame Gay matching strides, are behind them Fingal's Cave, and finally Crackerval. Racing towards the mile pole now in the King George VI and Queen Elizabeth Diamond Stakes, and it's Light Cavalry, Lester Bigot in the lead from Master Willie and Shergar, then Madame Gay and Pellerin, then Fingal's Cave, and finally Crackerval. Racing towards the 7 furlong pole, and the pace has quickened, and Light Cavalry still in the lead from Master Willie second, Shergar the 3-year-old on the inside. Just behind them Madame Gay the only filly, then comes Pellerin. Behind Pellerin is Fingal's Cave, and then comes Crackerval. They passed the 7 marker, racing towards the 6 now, and still Light Cavalry from Master Willie. Then Shergar, Madame Gay getting closer, then Pellerin. Behind Pellerin, Fingal's Cave, and finally Crackerval. They pass the 6 furlong pole now, racing towards the 5, and it's Light Cavalry from Master Willie, Shergar, Madame Gay going up on the outside of Shergar. Pellerin comes next, Fingal's Cave and Crackerval getting closer. Racing towards the half-mile mark, and as they do so, Master Willie goes up on the outside of Light Cavalry, Shergar on the inside, then Madame Gay. Behind Madame Gay is Fingal's Cave. Pellerin is losing ground, then comes Crackerval. They're racing towards the home turn, and it's Master Willie and Light Cavalry. Master Willie going on now from Light Cavalry. Madame Gay's moved round on the outside of Shergar. Shergar in 4th place now as they race towards the home turn. Crackerval's improved into 5th, and Master Willie going for home now. It's Master Willie with the advantage over Light Cavalry. Walter Swinburne slipped through on the rails on Shergar, but it's Master Willie with the advantage. Madame Gay coming there strongly on the stand side. Shergar making ground over on the far side now, racing down towards the furlong pole, and Shergar the 3-year-old burst through to take it up on the far side. It's Shergar now from Madame Gay, Master Willie, Fingal's Cave putting in a good run, but as they race into the closing stages, Shergar lengthening in his stride is going to win it in tremendous style. Shergar striding up to the line from Madame Gay and Fingal's Cave, and at the line Shergar wins it. Madame Gay and Fingal's Cave, and they're running. Jean just dwells a little bit, and so does Environment Friend, and going on in the early stages Desert Team with User Friendly on the outside, White Muzzle on the inner, and then Platini, and then Drum Taps. Then comes Commander in Chief with Opera House on his outside and 10 Be Close. Then Jean and Environment Friend the back marker as they run down towards Swinley Bottom with George Duffield and User Friendly the leaders. User Friendly going on from on the outside, Desert Team, then Drum Taps, White Muzzle, Commander-in-Chief keeping him well in his sides. Platini's lost a little bit of ground. They're racing towards the mile marker, going a blistering gallop too, and it's User Friendly, the mare, making it. User Friendly from Desert Team, Drum Taps right up with them too, just in behind the leaders. White Muzzle has made good ground with Commander-in-Chief. Platini is still losing ground. Tenby has now gone second to User Friendly, and it's User Friendly the leader from Tenby in second and Desert Team third. Opera House making ground on the outside of Commander-in-Chief with Drum Taps coming next. The mare still taking him along, George Duffield towards the left of the picture, hugging the rails. Tenby close in second, then Drum Taps, Commander-in-Chief coming there towards the right of the picture with Opera House, and he's being followed by Jern. Desert Team has lost his position. They're past the 6th pole, and still User Friendly the leader with the dual Dole Cup winner Drum Taps in second, Tenby third. Then comes in 4th place under pressure though Desert Team on the inside. Towards the outer going very cosily is the dual Derby winner Commander-in-Chief. Opera House still very well in contention as they race now towards the home turn, and it's User Friendly, Drum Taps, Opera House and Commander-in-Chief. They're being chased by User Friendly making ground towards the outside. It's User Friendly just with the advantage now from Drum Taps, then Commander-in-Chief, then comes Opera House behind them, Desert Team, and then White Muzzle making ground, and then Jean also. Well into the straight now in the King George VI and Queen Elizabeth Diamond Stakes, and it's Opera House and Commander-in-Chief, the old horse, The elder horse, Opera House. The young horse on the far side, Commander-in-Chief. And here comes White Muzzle to join him. It's Opera House with the advantage from Commander-in-Chief and then White Muzzle. These three have the race between them inside the final furlong. Opera House from White Muzzle and Commander-in-Chief. Opera House is going to win it for the elder generation. Opera House strides up through the line, the winner. Opera House wins it. It's a photo for second between White Muzzle and Commander-in-Chief.
Sir Effendi gone quickly. Here's Nayef now looming large, followed then by a Caloriston on the outside. Storming home is now being popped the question. Grandira with about 5 or 6 lengths to make up. They're on the turn for home in the King George, and Zindabad hard ridden, but here's Nayef storming home on the outside too, followed then by a Caloris. Grandira in behind them from Golan. Inside the final 2 furlongs, Zindabad boxing on well, being tackled now by Nayef, who moves up to take a narrow lead. Golan is running on very well on the inside from a Caloris. It's Nayef in front, but being grabbed all the while by Golan. Nayef and Golan settle down to fight it out. 100 yards left to go. Nayef being grabbed by Golan. It's head and head, neck for neck, and on the inside, Golan, a magnificent win.
And they're off. Look Here just missed it slightly, and Rockhampton sauntering towards the lead at no great pace with both Golden Sword and Frozen Fire. And the Aidan O'Brien phalanx are going to try and dominate this from the front as Rockhampton is allowed to lead, with Golden Sword firing up slightly on the outside of Frozen Fire. The white face of Tartan Bearer dropping into 4th, and the 4th, 5th and 6th horses are all trained by Sir Michael Stoute. And the other 3 bring up the rear, Look Here, Alwari and Cintillo. So Rockhampton are just a steady pace as they sort themselves into a formation. Frozen Fire on the fence and Golden Sword out wider. Ask is in 4th place, the green sleeves just ahead of Tartan Bearer, who is tracked by Conduit, who's on the outside of Look Here, who's a little bit closer now. And then the last 2 are Alwari and Cintillo. But Rockhampton is allowed to point his toe and is setting in the conditions a reasonable tempo here. Certainly no attempt to stack them up. Leads by as much as 5 or 6 lengths from Frozen Fire in second, as the main body of the field rather ignore the pacemaker now. Golden Sword is in 3rd place with Ask in 4th. Behind these, Tartan Bearer from Look Here and Conduit, who'll be enjoying the speed in 7th place. Alwari is in 8th, and then Cintillo. Increasing the advantage is Rockhampton is clear of his 2 stable companions, Golden Sword and Frozen Fire, who are side by side, and now Golden Sword moves through into 2nd place as Frozen Fire is just niggled along. Tartan Bearer, the pale colours, the white face, ahead of Ask on the outer. Then behind these is Look Here. Conduit comes next. Alwari and Cintillo is still held up. For the first time, this stride of the pacemaker beginning to shorten Rockhampton. He's only about 5 lengths clear with half a mile to travel. From Golden Sword in second, Ask and Tartan Bearer both travel better than Frozen Fire, who's ridden along. Look Here and Conduit are poised as the pacemaker now begins to come back to the field, and it's Golden Sword who'll be the first of the principals to commit. 2.5 furlongs from home, they turn in the King George. Golden Sword, Ask, Tartan Bearer, Conduit, the Michael Stoute trio, all beginning challenges together. Then Look Here and Alwari. Golden Sword goes to the front, Tartan Bearer and Ask immediately press him, and now Conduit to the outside. Alwari stays on, 1.5 furlongs to go, and Conduit moves to the front in the King George. From Tartan Bearer and Ask, a Sir Michael Stoute dream. The 3 of them fighting out the King George. In front, Conduit. Ask battling back with Tartan Bearer, but it's Conduit who's extending all the way to the line. Ryan Moore has chosen right. What a day for Sir Michael Stoute at the line. Conduit. And they're off and racing. From the stalls, Cape Blanco jumps out alertly. It's the pacemaker Confront who's sent on. Looks like being a reasonable gallop. They're already strung out with Workforce on the outside of Harbinger as they settle down now into the more expected formation, with Confront doing the pacemaking, leading by a couple of lengths from Cape Blanco in 2nd place. The outside, Workforce a little keen. In the pink cap, Harbinger takes some cover. Daria Kiner at the back of the field in company with Zain as they've made their way down this side of the course, with Confront stacking them up with Cape Blanco and Workforce on the outside as the pace steadies and is now a little more even. Harbinger continues to race in 4th place, just ahead of Zain and Daria Kiner at the back of the field as they prepare now to make their journey towards the mile point. And out in front, Confront, it is who leads. The Derby winners side by side. Workforce on the outside of Cape Blanco, 1.5 lengths back to Harbinger. Daria Kiner in the green and red on the outside of Zain as still Confront cutting out the running. Now beginning to attack the climb from Swinley Bottom and race towards the final 6.5. and Confront is encouraged along. It is going to be a true test at the trip. Workforce travelling powerfully on the outside at the moment of Cape Blanco. They continue to match strides. They're still a couple of lengths in advance as a Harbinger, as Confront has gone about 4 lengths clear on the front end. Dariakana and Yumzane. So Confront still be encouraged along. No pausing in proceedings. Workforce poised on the outside with Cape Blanco. They've matched strides. Then behind these, Harbinger, who's got a nice trail in. Then Yumzane and Dariakana. So all to play for as they make the long turn for home. Confront has lasted quite a while. Cape Blanco pushed along on the inside of Workforce. Harbinger's travelling really well in 4th place at the moment. It's still pulling double. Dariakana and Yumzane are also still with plenty in the tank. The 3-year-olds are flat out in pursuit of Confront. Cape Blanco goes to him on the outside. Harbinger is poised. Cape Blanco moves past Confront. Workforce is now being driven along. It's Harbinger. Tong lolling out is coming to the front in the King George and explodes away. Harbinger's gone 4 clear over in the twinkling of an eye. Cape Blanco in pursuit with Yumzane and Dariakana, but Harbinger copes with the rising class to run them ragged. Harbinger for the Highclere Thoroughbred Racing Club, Olivier Pellier, and a 5th King George for Sir Michael Stoute.
And they're off. Racing and very slow out of the stalls was Desert Encounter. Has surely thrown away any sort of chance there and lags behind by 6 or 7 lengths. Going forward is Salwen on the outside of Rostropovich as they make the run downhill towards Swinley Bottom. They've gone 2.5 lengths clear of Crystal Ocean in the dark blue with the yellow cap, then Hydrangea on the running rail. Back in the field is Coronet. Poet's Word is held up at the rear of the field, and Desert Encounter has now made the effort to catch up and latch on to the back of the field, but at a little bit of a cost, one suspects. Racing keenly downhill and about to swing right-handed as they approach the mile marker. And now Rostropovich goes on under Shamie Heffernan from Salwen in 2nd, and it looks a true gallop. Crystal Ocean is back in 3rd, 2 lengths away to Hydrangea on the inside of Coronet. Then Poet's Word lobbing along 2nd last, and finally Desert Encounter. Passing the 7 now and beginning to race uphill out of Swinley Bottom, and Rostropovich and Salwen separated by about a half length, 2 lengths away or so to Crystal Ocean. Coronet on the outside of Hydrangea, the 2 fillies together, and then at the back are Poet's Word and finally Desert Encounter. They pass the 6 and they're about to pass the 5 in the King George, and Rostropovich still spearheads the field from Salwen in 2nd place. Shamie Heffernan from Sylvester de Souza, Crystal Ocean and William Buick in 3rd, then Hydrangea, Ryan Moore on the inside of Coronet and Olivier Pellier. Poet's Word, James Doyle 2nd last, and finally Desert Encounter and Andrea Atzina. They're into the final turn and it's still Rostropovich. Salwen, Crystal Ocean though is drawing closer in 3rd place, travelling well. In behind these is Coronet in 4th. Poet's Word now is urged to improve and making headway from Hydrangea, and then at the back Desert Encounter, Rostropovich, Salwen, Crystal Ocean lays down a big challenge and now hits the front very quickly indeed, and Crystal Ocean begins to open up, chased now by stable companion Poet's Word, but Crystal Ocean is going to take some pegging back. They head to the final furlong. Poet's Word is getting on terms. Crystal Ocean on the far side, Poet's Word on the near side. They're practically together now.